Hello everybody, it's the Worm, and welcome back to Danganronpa 2. Yes, that's right, we are back here today, just in order to talk Danganronpa a little bit. And we are going to actually be heading into a part of the game I have not seen before. We're just gonna go ahead and load my last save. Oh my goodness, it just got louder. Just turn that down, please, a little bit. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay. Alright, so today we're going to be talking Danganronpa. It's been a little while. In fact, I went back to check, and actually Danganronpa 2 is the first Let's Play I actually did on this channel, so, you know, flash from the past there. But, yeah, this video, just to clarify for everyone, is a kind of preparation for an upcoming Let's Play of Danganronpa V3. Yes, that is on the horizon, and I wanted to take some time to talk about the series thus far, and especially I want to talk about the Danganronpa 3 anime that I watched not too long ago. A while back, I mentioned that that was something I wanted to do before going ahead with V3, and I've made good on that desire. I've watched the entire thing, and I'm ready to talk about it for a bit. So, first of all, just as a sort of background, I've decided to head into DR2 for a little bit, and let's actually take a look at this thing.
Welcome to Dangan Island!
Yeah. Now, this is a mode that I believe the first game had as well, but I never looked into it. And I just thought, hey, if I'm going to be talking about Danganronpa, might as well have something going on while we do so. And here, let's open up this. Now, let's obviously clarify things. Spoilers for pretty much all of the Danganronpa games. So, Danganronpa 1, Danganronpa 2, Despair Girls, and the anime itself. So, if you want to see or play through any of those things, this is not the video for you. You should, but I mean, if you don't care about that, then you're fine. But we will be, you know, I will be mentioning things from all of those sources. So, yeah, let's get into this and see what it's like. I know it's going to be not as serious as anything else in the story, so.
Yippee-ki-yay!
Yippee-ki-yay indeed, yes.
Hey, can you hear me?
I can hear you, Nagito. I can hear you, it's been so long.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm doing alright.
You seem pretty out of it. To be honest, I'm also... No, everyone else feels the same too, since we suddenly got put in this weird situation. Hey, are you listening?
I don't understand. Why am I here? That's right, I was supposed to be at Hope's Peak Academy, but all of a sudden I was at a tropical island for some reason. And afterward, that's it, I remember now, there were 15 other students, and then a mysterious self-proclaimed rabbit mascot suddenly appeared. That's right. I remember what that thing said. It was this, a school trip. Because my memories are fuzzy right now, it seems I don't remember my talent. And since I don't know what the heck is going on, I began collecting these things called Hope Fragments. And then, can you hear me? Hey, Hajime.
Are you okay?
Oh yeah, here we are. So, my understanding, this is a kind of game mode where it's, you can go around and interact with the characters, and essentially the concept is how the original program was supposed to be if Monokuma hadn't been able to take control. So, you know, pretty relaxed, I think, is what it's supposed to be. Yeah. Let's see if we can actually... You know, I'm not... Obviously, I'm not going to pay too much attention to what goes on here. This is just meant to be a little background. So let's actually get to... Yeah, you're Nagato, right?
I'm glad. How mean. I see.
So many there's already there. Yeah. Let's see it. Oh man, it's been so long.
Hi-ya!
Hi, Usami.
Hey!
There he is. Oh yeah, it's been a long time since we saw this too. Oh. I do wonder.
Hello there! Thank you all for waiting!
It's good to hear that voice again. One thing I'm going to mention about the anime is, well, I listened to it in English, the English dub, and that was, well, it was because I'd played through Danganronpa 1 and 2 and Despair Girls all in English, so I just decided I'd probably recognize the voices that way. But I was a bit disappointed, to be honest, that not all the voice actors are the same ones as from the games. I think some of the main ones, so, what was it? How am I forgetting our guy? There's Hajime Hinata, and then there's, oh, what was his name? Hang on. I should know this. This is silly. How do I... Makoto. Yeah. I don't know why I couldn't think of him at the time. Makoto and Hajime, they had, I believe, had the same voice actors as the ones from the game, but a good amount of others did not. So, and one that stuck out to me was Monokuma. Monokuma had a different voice in the anime versus the different games. And I thought that was a bit of a shame, because this, you know, one thing that Danganronpa has going for it, certainly, is Monokuma. And, yeah, that was a bit disappointing. I mean, they weren't bad. Yeah, but it's just, they weren't the ones I'm used to, you know? So that was, well, it was a mixed bag in that regard.
Long time no see, guys! Man! Ouch! Disappear! Ta-da!
There we go. We did it. Game's over.
Yahoo!
Wow. So Monokuma hobbled away. Turns out it's just that easy. Oh my goodness. A new music track, I think.
What? Starting to get pumped up!
Let me ask.
Could it be?
I see.
Oh, no problem. I see. What? Are you stupid?
Awesome!
For now. Right? Ta-da! What?
Yep, we're collecting hope fragments, everyone.
Come on.
I shall explain. Hey!
Mm-hmm.
What did you say?
Love, love! Yahoo!
All right!
All right!
Oh!
Okay.
Oh my goodness, terror.
Come on!
I had forgotten about his existence, and I was perfectly fine forgetting about it.
Engines revving.
Oh yeah. Dangan Island. Chiaki. Oh my goodness. The stuff about Chiaki, the anime, wow. We'll get there. That was crazy. There we go. Okay.
I shall explain.
You serious?
That's right!
Have to survive, collect all hope fragments. 50 days.
Come on.
Ta-da!
Class
Huh?
goals.
Got it? That's... Alrighties! Ta-da!
Flower pin, my goodness.
You are right.
Got it? Ta-da! Alrighty!
Okay. So we're at the thing. Alright, so now that we're out of that, let's talk about the anime for a little while as we kind of just go through this thing. Well, first thing I want to mention is that I watched it essentially over basically a single day is what I went through.
Yay!
And so my impressions are going to be a bit, you know, I'm sure if I watched it a second time, I would be able to form much more concrete opinions on it. But I'm satisfied with what I've got so far. But yeah, that's just a little disclaimer there that, and it was a lot. I think in total it's what, the despair arc. There were three different things. There's the despair arc, the future arc, and then the hope arc at the end. And I think, I want to say despair was 11 episodes, hope was 12, and then there was one, no, excuse me. 11 despair, 12 future, and then 1 hope, I think. So that was a lot to do in a day. But I managed to do it. And so yeah, I did take some notes afterward, but it was quite an event.
I see.
Hey! Got it? Yippee-ki-yay!
Okay.
Alrighties!
So this is like a management thing.
Ta-da!
Okay. Check in 5 days. Got it. Yeah, so here's what I want to say first more than anything else. If you had told me that... Okay, let's look at this. Physical condition, collection level, cleaning level. Huh. Gotcha. Interesting. So rest, clean. Oh, okay, so we set them all to what we're gonna do. And a flower pin, we need seashell. First we need tree vine, knife glue. Do that. Mm-hmm. Presumably you want the collectors collecting more. Hang on, does it save where I have them? Okay, 2 seashell, 2 green flower, 2 red flower. Our cleaning meter is pretty high, so it doesn't look like we need to mess with that yet. So let's just gather more stuff. Let's just send these guys out and see what they can get. All right, begin. Let's just send them out. Sure, why not? They get tons of stuff, huh?
Hello! Got it?
And then you have free time. How about that?
Hey! Hey!
Trip tickets.
Alrighties!
Okay. Okay. Yeah, so as I was saying, essentially the if you had told me that the Danganronpa series ended with that anime, I would easily believe you. Because it does such a good job. Well, I felt it did a very good job in bringing in all the games and all the past story all together, right? So Danganronpa 1, Danganronpa 2, Despair I was so surprised by when Ultra Despair Girl stuff showed up in there. And it's weird because, well, I'll get to it in a second. So, I'm just going to go down the notes that I had, and just sort of give you my thoughts on the whole thing. So, yeah, as I said, it overall, I have a positive view of the anime. It was, as I just said, it incorporates all the stuff from the games together, and it makes me curious too. It makes me very curious what they're going to do with V3. Now, I've heard the word reboot thrown around, I think, or soft reboot maybe. I don't know what that means exactly, but I kind of understand that because at the end of this anime, it's pretty much done, right? I mean, essentially, we sort of had the last gasp of despair, right? With the old Future Foundation leadership kind of being toppled from having been infected with the despair. And yeah, it was pretty much everything's all good. One thing I really liked is we got to see what happened with the DR2 crew. And that was one thing, you know, Hajime, with the help of Makoto, was able to get his fellow classmates away, and it was left kind of in the open where, because supposedly, I think it was Junko or Monokuma who said something like, if they died in the game, and that's gonna really screw with them, and it may be they may be stuck in a coma or something like that, and so their fates were sort of left in doubt. But it was somewhat hopeful, I think, if I'm remembering right. And then we got to see in the anime the DR2 crew was able to recover and get out of there. So that was all exciting. I was at first a bit hesitant on the new the killing game again. This guy, the imposter. I should talk about him. Yeah, I was a bit, it was like, okay, another Monokuma killing game's happening. What's the deal at this point? But I did pretty quickly, look at it again and start to appreciate it. So if I'm remembering right, the mechanics of this new killing game, it was something like, every day you go to sleep, and then someone's gonna die, and then they also had the bracelets. There's a single murder. It was the single, and then on the bracelets everyone had a rule, and if you break the rule, you would get poison injection. And so there were some interesting dynamics that came out from that, where people would they would give away what their rule was in order to gain people's trust or things like that. So, as time went on, I kind of felt better about it. At first, I was just kind of like, oh man, okay, another killing game. We've seen it 1,000 times. But it turned out to be pretty good in retrospect. Now, this guy here, Mr. Imposter, I gotta say, there were a few things that confused me at first, and his whole deal, well, it's not just the imposter. It's it was the introduction of the animator guy. Now that, oh, they're all just lined up here, aren't they? Well, that's cool. I can talk about them as I need to. The animator guy, at first I was very confused because I was thinking, okay, wait, he's part of the Danganronpa 2 class? How's that possible? We never saw any mention, or if there were, I just didn't remember any. And I honestly, I was suspecting him for a long time to be the main culprit who was killing people. At the outset, I think it was definitely animator guy, but I do remember I also suspected, was it, who called the meeting in the first place? Was it Chairman? I can remember at the very, it was like the first or second episode, I was thinking, I remember having a thought where whoever called the meeting, I was suspicious was. I can't remember if that was the chairman or if it was the student, the former ultimate student council president. I think it was the guy who's, you know, who was, he was extremely anti-despair, but not necessarily pro-hope. He was in love with the homeroom teacher, that guy. He had the sword, that guy, yeah. I can't remember if it was him or if it was the chairman. Whichever one called the meeting, I remember thinking, well, if maybe they're responsible. But I did think that it was the animator guy who was behind it, because my thought was, we didn't see the animator in Danganronpa 2, right? Like, he's not here. He's not in this game. And so, at the time, I was thinking, okay, we know that the Danganronpa 2 crew were all the ultimate despairs who, you know, ravaged the world. And so I was thinking, if he hadn't gone through Makoto's, you know, deprogramming that these guys all went through, isn't he just the guy who's who's put together this killing game then? I don't know. I was all confused by that for a while, but it got cleared up by the end, I think. Take a drink real quick. It did become a bit clearer when we had when it turns out that this imposter, while he attended the class, he was dressed up as and pretended to be the animator guy. So that made some more sense, I think. Okay, so next thing I want to talk about. Okay, so one of the I gotta say, I wasn't really too interested in a lot of the new characters that they showed. I can't even really remember their names. Like the one guy he was a big guy but sounded like a little kid. I don't even remember what he was the ultimate of. He died very quickly. But I do have to say, the bowl guy, the guy, you know, with the mask, I was not surprised at all that he was the first one to go. Because he was so cool. One, he was so cool, and two, he was completely on Makoto's side, and was saying stuff like, you know, we need you. You're the guy. You're our hope. You're going to be the one to, you know, lead us in the future, and he's got our back. And so, even before they went to sleep the first time, I was thinking, okay, this guy's got to go. He's too cool and he's too useful to be on our side to live very long. And yeah, he died so quickly. But I will say that the fake out, the death fake out with Asahina, with Hina, I honestly was shocked for a second before it was revealed to be a fake out. And because I was thinking they wouldn't kill one of the original DR1 crew, right? But then I thought back to if you played Ultra Despair Girls. Now again, I'm going to be referencing all the games here. If you played Ultra Despair Girls, you'll remember that Hina's brother is in that game. And, well, something unfortunate happens, okay? And so, at first I was thinking, there's no way, but as the scene started to go on for a bit, I was thinking, oh my goodness, they're actually doing it. They're going to kill Hina, and that was good. And I was so taken aback. And then, well, no, it turns out it was a fake out. And, you know, I was a bit relieved. You know, I'm biased. I much prefer the DR1 and DR2 crew to whoever they were introducing just in that show, of course. And after that fake out with Asahina, I was absolutely... So that one I was actually willing to believe. I got faked out there. But the one I wasn't willing to believe was when later on in the show they said that they were going to well, first they said someone, I think it was from, what's her name? Monica, the main antagonist from the, or one of the main antagonists from the Ultra Despair Girls. Also, I was so surprised when she popped up back again. But when they started, you know, saying, okay, someone from DR1 is going to die. And I was thinking, okay, I don't believe you at all. I was not going to buy it. And when it turned out to be Kirigiri, I even more so said, no, I do not buy it. There's something extra going on here, and either she's faking it or she found a loophole or something, you know, that would let her survive breaking her rule. And that was quite the dastardly rule there. See, you know, I think it was see Makoto still alive by the fourth, or have Makoto be alive by the fourth round of sleeping. But I did not accept it whatsoever. It was such a stark difference from the Hina fake out death to the Kirigiri fake out death, where, well, that one wasn't really a fake out. It's just somehow. Now, it didn't really turn out how I thought. I thought it was going to be she had managed to trick it, or there was going to be some secret. But it turned out it was actually just sort of chance. The pharmacy girl, I think it was, actually was able to develop a cure, I think it was, and that's how Kirigiri was able to survive. So, you know, a bit... I thought, you know... Oh my goodness, I leveled up. So it wasn't that Kirigiri had a trick for it. It was more just she kind of got lucky, I guess. But yeah, I still wasn't... I wasn't going to accept that. I would have been very surprised if that had been real. So, you know, speaking of the pharmacy girl, that was one of the... There was kind of... With the new characters, there was the... there was the love triangle of the homeroom teacher, who was the... Oh, I can't remember what her ultimate was. There was the homeroom teacher, the ultimate student council president, who was kind of the leader, and then the ultimate boxer. So that was that group of three. And then there was the other group of three with the ultimate pharmacist, the ultimate... What was it? Baker or dessert maker? I can't remember what she was. And I actually don't remember what the guy was in that trio. He was like a ninja, but I don't think he was the ultimate ninja. I can't remember what he was. But you know who I'm talking about. I want to talk about both of those groups. Which do I want to talk about first? Oh, I got an achievement. How about that? Well, first I should get a drink, because my throat's starting to hurt. Okay. So I'm curious, do I have... Oh. I was wondering if we could get the little Danganronpa 2 minigame thing. Let's talk about the big three, who were kind of in charge. I will say this. I was deeply saddened when we learned that the homeroom teacher got despairified. I don't know what the proper term here is. But that one really, that was a good sucker punch in that show there, when she got turned, and, you know, then led the class, the DR2 crew, basically got them desperified too. That really sucked. And then the reveal that all along in the background she was fomenting despair amongst the Future Foundation. You know, that just sucked. That hurt a lot. There was, I had to go back and check because I wasn't sure. There was that sort of, those scenes where the homeroom teacher and then later Junko were in a movie theater watching. There was that moment where the homeroom teacher, at the very end, you know, and again, I don't know what you can take from that, because she's deceased at that point. But she did say that, something like, their hope is just beginning. And so it really did suck, but, you know, maybe there was some hope that deep down a part of her still held out some hope. And but yeah, it's hard to think about. And of course that all of her actions and then her being the first victim is sort of what really started the ultimate student council president. It started his path to madness, really. And yeah, it was interesting that they decided to do a love triangle between the three. And of course, with the boxer, at the beginning, I think you're meant to think, oh, you know, he maybe he's interested. You know, he's friends with the student council president, but maybe he likes the homeroom teacher too. But no, it turns out that what the show says is the boxer is actually into the student council president as well. And of course, he's unwilling to reveal that, and that's what Junko sort of gets over him. So that was kind of an interesting twist on the love triangle there. But overall, I wasn't too... I was more interested in this trio than the next ones I'm going to talk about. I will say that. Of course, we did get that whole sequence with Makoto versus the student council president, where it was kind of your ideals, and, you know, Makoto's a pure hope kind of guy, while as this new guy was simply anti-despair. And of course, he got sort of tricked by the chairman into... he was tricked by the chairman into believing there was despair in everyone, and so while he's already been pushed over the edge by having the homeroom teacher die, he basically thinks, okay, I just have to kill everyone, because everyone has the capacity for despair, and so it'd be better if they were dead instead of despairing. And so he obviously has that difference of opinion with Makoto. But yeah, in the end, he sort of realizes the error of his ways and makes room for Makoto to take over, so that's good of him in the end, yeah. And then, of course, the boxer sort of gets his redemption at the end there, too, when he saves Makoto and then is able to flip that switch at the end. Yeah. So, overall, I wasn't too interested in them, but they did each have interesting things going on with them. I will say that. Now, the other new trio that got revealed there, it was, as I said, it was the Candy Girl, Pharmacy Girl, and the guy who I can't even remember what he was. I was not really interested in their dynamic, I gotta say. It was, you know, I didn't like the Candy Girl because it was all it felt like she was just taking advantage of the pharmacy girl, and she was. And then she reveals at the end, oh no, she wanted to be acknowledged by her, and of course there was that whole thing where she kind of betrayed her boyfriend, that guy, and he was but then it was then revealed again that, oh, he was okay with it because he loved her, and she got her comeuppance in the end, though. But yeah, just none of that really interested me more than their whole conflict, their fight. It just, yeah. Yeah, I think I remember I think I sped up the time a bit just to, because I just was not interested in it. I will say, the whole thing with it's so funny to me now thinking about it. This is going back to the inclusion of the other games. When they showed, what's her name? Makoto Naegi, the sister. What's her name? Is it Kamaru? Hang on. What is her name? Yeah, it is Kamaru. I'm surprised I remembered that. When they showed Kamaru and Toko running through town, you know, in her using the weapon that she has, and Monica too, it's so weird. I don't know how to describe this really, but of the three games, Danganronpa 1, 2, and then Ultra Despair Girls, Ultra Despair Girls was my least favorite. I did not like it that much. And it's for a couple reasons. The gameplay was just kind of meh. And then there are parts of the story, I mean, you can watch my Let's Play, but I'm not sure you'd want to. Parts of the story I don't like. I'll just say that much. You'll know when you get to those sections. But it definitely felt like the weakest of the three games to me. And if there's people playing through the Danganronpa series, I would say that I don't think you need to play that one, I guess. I wouldn't put it as a necessary play. I'd say, you know, you're good with just Danganronpa 1 and 2. Yeah, I think I'd say that, yeah. However, when those scenes popped up with Kamaru and Toko running through the streets, and she used the weapons, and she used the different modes of the weapons, and Toko used the taser thing, and I was so surprised because, you know, you could if you've played Ultra Despair Girls, you recognize everything she's doing, and you know, for some reason that got me. I was like, yeah, I recognize that. I know what she's doing. I have the context. That's great. Yeah. So that was so strange. It was so strange for me to actually be excited about something Ultra Despair Girls related. And it was kind of, I mean, this is going back to how it really felt like this anime wrapped everything up. The fact that Monica, you know, it sounded like she was, at first they tried to make it seem like she was responsible for everything that's going on. Turned out to not be the case. And then she just flew to space. She decided she was done. And that was it. And I expected there was going to be some trick at play here, but I guess not. And that's part of why I think if they wanted to end the Danganronpa series right there, I feel like they could have done it, because that was that whole loose end tied up. Now, I'm not necessarily sure that's the most satisfying way to tie up that loose end, but, you know, she was the heir of Junko, and then the heir of Junko gave up. And the Desperified remnants in the Future Foundation, they're done too. So, yeah, it was strange. And she did that whole thing with the, she killed that one, what was it, ultimate programmer? Yeah, poor girl, I think it was a girl. Just to sort of spy on the goings-on of what was happening in there, but it was weird to see Monomi there as her avatar, but I guess it makes sense. I was thinking she was probably a programmer responsible for parts of the program that they were using in DR2, so I wasn't necessarily surprised to see Monomi back. I will say I was a bit confused. This is going back to sort of me being confused about the animator guy. I was confused to see, where is she? I was confused to see Chiaki in the Despair arc of the anime. Because as we know, the Chiaki in DR2 is a computer program, so I thought that, and remember, it's been a little while. I thought there wasn't originally a Chiaki, but it turns out there was. And of course, the reason why the programmers chose to make the AI Chiaki is because the first Chiaki was killed. And yeah, that was awful to watch. Just you know, Junko doing Junko things, getting Chiaki killed and despairifying the others. But yeah, seeing, you know, and this is part of why I think the anime was so good for rounding everything up. It showed all the background stuff that we've heard about in DR1 and 2, like the deaths of that one class that, you know, Junko did. She did the thing she did in Danganronpa 1, but, you know, she blackmailed them all and forced them to kill each other. And then there was the, and then learning about Hajime apparently was friends with the real Chiaki, and that's you know, getting that background. They even put in the little storyline with where is he? Where's the guy? This guy, Fuyuhiko, with him and his sister, and having her sister or his sister be killed, and showing how Hajime was sort of nearby when that happened, and that was all crazy. I was surprised they put in so much. Again, it was what would it have been? It was like 24 episodes, so there was a lot to go through. But yeah, they really put in all the sort of background from that was mentioned previously. So I thought that was kind of cool. One thing I do want to mention, a scene that I liked. Remember, it was the scene when Nagito goes to confront Junko and the animator in the room. This guy right here, Nagito, ultimate lucky student. And I was... He pulls out a gun. I don't know, that was surprising, one. But two, I thought it was so clever when they did the, you know, he's the ultimate lucky student. He turns around and Izuru's there. You know, we got the background on Izuru. We actually, I mean, we got it before, but we actually got to see more of what actually happened. But Izuru was there. Nagito pulled out the gat, and he fired, and it jammed. And then Izuru was something like, I can't remember what he said, but the idea is Izuru has all the ultimate skills. And what does that make him? That means he's ultimate lucky student as well. And so we had this duel of luck between luck, and I just thought that was funny. And of course, it got turned around again when Nagito was shot, but he was saved due to luck because of the thing in his shirt pocket, I think it was. Yeah, so that was fun. Nagito's just, you know, crazy as always with his weird philosophy on talented people and greater hope coming from greater despair and all that stuff. What else do I want to talk about? Obviously, music was still good. Music in all the Danganronpa games tend to be just very good, and so when they use those songs in the anime, they're just as good. So, you know, very good. I will say, I did have one thing I'm not sure how I feel about, and maybe you guys can offer your opinion on this. Here are my two things of, not critique necessarily, but things I wasn't really satisfied with. Okay, first things first. The DR2 crew came back, and they kind of saved the day, right? When the animator guy was trying to upload his Hope program, or whatever it was, his Hope animation, I guess it was. All our guys here came back, and they saved the day. They were able to use their skills, take out the brainwashed people, and they were able to save the day. And they even did that cool thing at the end where they took responsibility for the game, or the killing game, so as to not shake the confidence of the people in Future Foundation. At least that was Byakuya's idea, I think. But if it's true, then, you know, that's pretty crazy, and it's a far-sighted idea, so good on them if that's really what's going on. What I'm trying to get at is these guys in Danganronpa 2, or from Danganronpa 2, they act pretty much just as they used to, just as we see them in this game here. And I feel like that's not right, exactly. My thought, or my idea was, they've been reawoken by Hajime, and they are, and so that they should have memories of both what happened in the game and what happened previously, so during their time as Ultimate Despairs, right? At least that's how I thought it was. And so, you know, we got a good example of what I thought it should be with Hajime here, where his eyes, you know, one color was Izuru and the other was Hajime, so he's kind of a synthesis of the two. And so, and he was obviously a bit more serious than he is as just Hajime. And so I was thinking, you know, I wish that the other DR2 characters had something similar there. They I don't know, like, they acted exactly as they used to be when they were students, and personality-wise and everything like that. I feel like, having gone through what they've gone through and all the despair that they had, they really should be themselves, but they should be, I don't know, something more, I guess. They did make a good point with Atonement, that, you know, now that they've gotten back their hope, what they want to do is fix what they've done in the past. That's their goal now, and that's all good. I don't know. I was just hoping for a bit more to show that, not rather than them just saying it. I don't know what you would have done to show that. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe give them different clothes. I don't know. Just something to indicate that they've actually changed a bit. At least that's kind of what I would have wanted. And then the second thing I'm kind of not sure about in this story is that the whole thing with the animator. And so it is revealed in the anime that the animator developed the method through which Junko was able to disparify so many people so quickly across the world. And it's, you know, it's essentially brainwashing, where she tapes these horrible things that occur, and then she, you know, edits it and creates it and animates it in such a way that completely changes, you know, the minds of the people who watch it. And then from then on, they are, you know, just her pawns of despair, essentially. And it makes sense, I guess, but I gotta say, I'm not sure I was really satisfied with that. It just feels a bit... How do I explain this? It feels almost like cheating, I guess. Like, in Danganronpa 1, the point of the game is to, you know, the kids are captured, their mind wiped, or their memories are wiped, and then they're forced into this killing game, ostensibly, so that Junko can send this out to the remainder of the, you know, the survivors, and make them fall into despair. You know, having these people engage in a killing game. Now that made sense to me, because these are meant to be the ultimates. They're meant to be, you know, pure and innocent, and the best of us, and then they're forced into killing into suspicion and into killing each other, and that's despair-inducing. That makes sense. But it turns out that for the majority, at least for the students at Hope's Peak, it looks like for the majority of them, they just got mind controlled. So, does that make sense? You know, it feels like, you know, it just feels cheap. That it wasn't, that it just, that Junko's efforts alone weren't enough. She had to use this sort of... I mean, that doesn't make much sense, but... I don't know. I don't know if I'm making sense or not. Okay. But in any case, we because of that, we did get that confrontation where then the animator guy wanted to just do the opposite with Hope instead. You know, make everyone robots, essentially, and never be able to feel sadness or anything like that. And of course, that was wrong, and he was able to be convinced otherwise, so that's good. So yeah. I don't know, I have to think about it a bit more. I'm not able to put it into words just yet, I don't think. I mean, Junko's still doing something when she's editing and animating those videos, but it's like, it would feel, the despair doesn't feel as genuine. Does that make sense? It's like, because a person can naturally fall into despair just based on the circumstances. It feels like the whole animated video bit is, as I said, it's kind of cheating. It's forcing that person to despair rather than them coming to despair on their own. Something like that, I think, is what's... Now, does that make it bad? You know, not necessarily. It's more just that was my sense of it at the time, I think. Yeah. Okay. I think that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about. In any case, that's pretty much my impression of the anime, and that's so yeah, all in all, it was, I'm overall positive on it. It seemed to be if it needed to be, I think that served as a pretty dang good finale for the Danganronpa series as a whole. And that's why it makes me so curious what V3 is going to be like. I think we talked about the chairman being the big bad, but because he got corrupted by the homeroom teacher. But yeah, I mean, it made sense because he called the meeting and all that. Okay, I think I'm going to call it here today. The Danganronpa V3 playthrough is going to be in the works for a little bit, so I probably wouldn't expect it immediately following this video. It might take a little while. There's some things I need to be working on in the meantime. And I'll probably want to get a few episodes recorded first before I start to upload. Yeah, I think we'll call it there. Okay. I've been The Worm. This has been Danganronpa 2, talking about the Danganronpa anime and all the other stuff. I hope you have all been all right. I hope you stuck around for the conversation, and if you would like to comment and discuss more about these sorts of things, feel free to do so. And I hope to see you next time. I hope to see you for the Danganronpa V3 Let's Play. Hope you have a good day. Bye-bye.